Hi everyone, it's Gamer Relations here with me and my brother.
Hello.
Today I'm going to be talking to you about what I know so far about the zombie storyline, from about World at War up to Black Ops 2. I apologise if it's not completely up to what it actually is.
Up to date.
Up to date, yeah. If you want the full proper story with 100% fact, check out some other videos, but this is just what I know and I want to share it with you guys. I know some of my friends want to know. Right, so it starts off with Dr. Edward Richtofen and Dr. Maxis. Dr. Maxis is from a company, 935, who are working with the element 115 from the planet called Ether. I'll speak about that a little bit later. To make superhumans. And they're using element 115 to do this because they think it'll help. What happens is the Dr. Edward Maxis is experimenting, and he is creating some superhumans up until I think it's World War One. It might be World War Two. I'm not sure. Yeah, the Nazis asked them if they can make super weapons. So I'm pretty sure Maxis makes the Wonder Waffle, and some other scientist makes the ray gun. I'm not sure about that either. I don't think it tells you who makes the ray gun. But apart from the fact that Dr. Porter, as you can see on the Porter's X2 ray gun here that I have in this video, was made by Dr. Porter. So yeah, that's the upgraded version of the ray gun. And yeah, so they're making super weapons for the Nazis. But Richtofen doesn't like this because he's all for equality and doesn't like fascism and stuff like that. So he starts working on these teleporters, which they were doing before, originally before making superhumans. And he finally gets one to work by teleporting a walnut to the map Call of the Dead. And whilst he's at whilst the walnut's at Call of the Dead, Richtofen gets all excited and goes to Maxis to explain to him what he's done. Now, Maxis, they're supposed to be making super weapons for the Nazis, so Maxis isn't very happy about the fact that Richtofen isn't doing his job. Richtofen gets very angry with this because he spent weeks on it, and it took him a while, and he spent a lot of effort on it with some different scientists. So he gets really angry, and gets so angry that he starts to human trial it. So Richtofen himself actually puts him in teleporter and teleports, and he ends up in Call of the Dead where the walnut was teleported. Now, the time from Call of the Dead up until he arrives back at the Riese, the factory of 935, where he's teleported from, is noted down as the journey. So at Call of the Dead he finds the golden rod, which if you've played Moon, if you activate the power, that actually starts the Easter egg with the golden rod. And then once he leaves the golden rod there because he doesn't know really what to make of it. And then he teleports on to Shangri-La, the temple in the hidden forest, where he finds a focusing stone. Now the focusing stone is also for the Moon Easter egg, which is needed to make the pyramid open up. Well, I'll talk about that a little bit later. Yeah, so he actually takes the focusing stone because, well, it interests him. So, and then when he gets back to the Riese, he finds that Maxis has found out all about the teleporting. So he gets even more angry with Richtofen, and Richtofen gets even more angry with Maxis. So they don't exactly
angry.
Yeah, they don't really like each other very much. So Richtofen gets so angry that he tells two of the other scientists who are working on the teleporter to teleport to Moon, which they do by like changing the systems on the teleporter and the coordinates and stuff like that, and end up on the Moon in the Moon base, and they spend weeks there researching it. And then finally, on the last couple of days there, they find a rat scuttling around a pyramid, which they've been testing on for weeks, but nothing has actually happened. And then they find a rat, and then one of the scientists kills the rat next to the pyramid, conveniently. And then the pyramid, actually, a glass tube comes out, and fills up a little bit with the green, glowy sort of thing.
Substance.
Yeah, so the scientist is all excited and teleports back to Riese to tell Richtofen about what he's found there. Richtofen gets very excited, teleports to himself with the doctors, and he starts experimenting on the pyramid, and he finds out that he needs to actually use souls to fill up the tube to open up the pyramid, because he thinks the pyramid can somehow get him, like, he thinks it's the true path to enlightenment. He's gone a bit crazy at this point. So Richtofen, after weeks of studying it, realises he has to sacrifice living souls to the pyramid. Now Richtofen's gone mad, so he forgets all about his opinion in equality, and he goes and gets a lot of like Jews and people that the Nazis didn't really like back in the World Wars, and sacrifices them next to the pyramid. And once the pyramid's all full up, he realises that he needs the focusing stone, which he has acquired from Shangri-La. He places the focusing stone in the middle of the pyramid, and then he travels back to Call of the Dead and finds the goldenrod. He what do I say? He uses the goldenrod to open up the pyramid, and he goes back to tell Maxis about what he's done. And he found that Maxis already found out from some scientists who dobbed on him, basically. And so Maxis goes, he's fed up with Richtofen now because he's not been listening to him. So he goes up towards him, but before he can, arrest him or something, but before he can arrest him, his daughter Samantha comes running in saying that Maxis never spends enough time with her. So Samantha gets really angry with him, and she's brought her dog Fluffy along, who's pregnant at that time, which is quite relevant for the story later on. Before they can reach Richtofen, however, they are standing in the teleporter, so Richtofen teleports Samantha, her dog Fluffy, and Maxis, not knowing where they're going to go, but it's never been done with so many people before. So it starts to overload. Maxis ends up getting teleported to Ether, which is the planet where the zombie souls are, and it's like your soul is to walk there forever if you've sinned or something like that. It's like where the Nazis believed that bad souls went, and yeah, so he's stuck in Ether. However, at that time, since the pyramid is open, Samantha gets stuck inside of the pyramid. The pyramid then closes, with Samantha stuck inside, and at this time her dog Fluffy, who is pregnant, gets mutated and gives birth to millions of evil hellhound dogs, which is how these zombie dogs are actually made. So every 5 or so round, if you're on Black Ops 1, where the dogs come and then you get max ammo from them, that's actually how they're made. And so Richtofen he has to go back to Call of the Dead to find the goldenrod again,